Enough is enough. When is Ohio State going to stop producing star NFL wide receivers? There are some worthy candidates so far, but Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie Emeka Egbuka is the early frontrunner for Offensive Rookie of the Year as he ascends into a featured role in Tampa Bay's offense. Egbuka played a key role again in Week 3, catching 6 of 8 targets for 86 yards, including a highlight reel-worthy one-handed snag in the second quarter. It was also Egbuka's most efficient game of the year. Despite only running 23 routes, the Buccaneers rookie had his highest target share of the year and averaged an impressive 3.74 yards per route run according to preliminary PFF data. Through 3 games, Egbuka now has 14 catches for 181 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's consistently been a reliable outlet for Baker Mayfield, with the Bucs QB posting a 133.3 passer rating when targeting his new rookie wideout. The Buccaneers might have to lean even more heavily on the first-round pick going forward as Chris Godwin continues to get healthy from his injury, and Mike Evans could miss multiple weeks with his hamstring injury that caused him to leave Week 3 early. A featured role would be nothing new for Egbuka, however. Coming out of high school in Washington, Egbuka was a 5-star recruit who decided to join Ohio State and move to Columbus, where he left the program as the all-time receptions leader while finishing just 20 yards short of the school's career receiving yards record. Baker Mayfield's going to have no problem giving Egbuka more touches going forward. He's been in love with the first-round receiver all offseason. This is what he had to say about Egbuka back in July on the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers.
And Emeka Egbuka is an absolute stud.
Ooh.
Okay.
He's a real deal.
Yeah. What makes you say that?
Okay, you know how you just can't teach guys leaving the ground to catch the ball? He's always grounded when he catches it, keeps moving. There's yak potential out the wazoo there. But he's just so damn smart. I mean, he's willing to block, willing to do everything we ask him to do. But then, I mean, we can plug and play him at any of the 3 receiver spots right now.
Yep.
It's pretty exciting.
Hell yeah.
I mean, if he can go up and get a ball and he's smart, I don't know what else you want in a receiver. I mean, goddamn, that's 2 good traits right there.
Baker isn't the only one impressed with Egbuka so far. Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles had this to say about the first-round wideout following the team's win in Week 3.
I mean, he stepped up big. Again, he's been doing that every week for us in the shortness of the season. For the past 3 weeks, he's been stepping up big. He did it again.
The Bucs are all in on Egbuka, so am I. Even Vegas is all in on the rookie at this point. He is currently the odds-on favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, squeaking out first place just ahead of Indianapolis Colts tight end Tyler Warren. With all of that hype, why don't we go ahead and dive into the tape from Week 3 for Egbuka to get a better feel of what's making him such an impactful rookie in today's episode of Best Available. Thank you for watching today's episode. Make sure that you're subscribed on YouTube and follow us on socials at Best Available YT. Also consider becoming a member. For just $2.99 a month, you'll get access to bonus plays and a separate video to get more additional context about these players that we talk about every week. You'll also get access to the NFL Draft Big Board that I'm updating constantly as I go through prospects. You'll get priority suggestions on videos you want to see in the future, and more benefits to come. So something to consider going forward. But with that, why don't we dive into Emeka Egbuka, who is quickly becoming one of my favorite wide receivers in the NFL. I really love all the nuances that go into playing the wide receiver position because, yes, we're going to get into the highlight catches and things of that nature, but there's so much more besides just making those grabs that makes you a complete wide receiver in the NFL. And I think one of the best examples of that is, running routes full speed where you're not the primary option. As a former wide receivers coach, it's hard to get kids bought into that. Egbuka seems to have no issue with that. And I really like that. I think he's the main reason this becomes such a wide open throw. This is a nice little fun concept. What we're going to have is almost a crosser into a seam. And then we're going to have this sit route where this ball is going to go. We have a delayed release here that's going to be a block for a potential swing check down. So all of that is designed to clear this receiver. And as we roll this, you're going to notice that. So what we're going to have, here's Egbuka. What I appreciate here, and we can rewind it, look at the effort he's giving to clear this out. So again, we have Egbuka here on the line. He is going to run that crosser. He's going to attack that linebacker and then fly upfield with his head turned to draw that linebacker and get him to follow him up the seam. If you're running this half-ass, I can feel pretty confident in saying it's not going to do much for this play. But instead, Egbuka's really pushing that up the seam to clear that. Now look, because we have that and we have this escort and they're focused on this potential swing screen. Look at this in the NFL. This at any level is the most open. And that's just a great play design. I think Baker's a little slow to realizing it. He does have to reset the pocket because of pressure, but I mean, everything that this is doing is setting up just the most open receiver, get some yak, get a goal to go situation. But again, if you look at Egbuka just pushing this linebacker gains depth, watch him push into that linebacker and then carry it upfield. It's that effort and showing like that urgency with it that carries that linebacker. Because if that linebacker isn't sold by this and he's sitting here, he can easily break on this, right? That little stuff matters at playing the wide receiver position. Sometimes you got to know, like, yes, I know I'm probably not getting the ball here, but it's going to make the offense easier, give our offense more snaps, more opportunities to make plays. Really unselfish play by Egbuka here, and just a really nice job to help get Shepard open. Not much to say here besides what a snag, and we can just roll it real quick because holy crap. It's a little overthrown maybe. The body control concentration, this is not an open throw. He is staying, this corner is doing a great job. I mean, this is Sauce Gardner he's going against. This is one of the best corners in football. Gardner's doing a great job of using the sideline as leverage. He's stacked on the rookie receiver, but it's just that concentration and one-hand snag. That's really the only kind of play he's going to be able to make in this situation against an all-pro cornerback, and he has no problem doing that. Why don't we go ahead and look at the other angle too so you can get both looks at it. I mean, it's a great throw, but just what an effort. What an effort. And, he didn't have a touchdown this game. He's already got 3 on the year, but to me, this is far and away the best play he's made all season so far, going against, again, one of the top corners in the NFL and doing that to him. One of my biggest challenges when I coached wide receivers was getting kids to buy into blocking, but damn it, I wasn't a wide receiver when I played. I was a fullback. If there was one thing I was going to teach kids, it was no block, no rock. Like, you need to be bought in the run game in order to earn touches in the passing game. It's something Egbuka really stood out. And when I watched him as a prospect at Ohio State, this was a guy that was really willing to dig out and be an effective run blocker. So if we watch here, these can be really tricky, going against a corner from depth and sealing off. But, what I typically taught is make sure that you're getting inside that release. You don't want to go outside and just allow the corner to easily cut inside. And then you just want to use your body to seal them off. And I think Egbuka does a pretty nice job of that. You see he's getting inside to make sure he wins that leverage battle. And then he's just sealing off pretty easily. Because he's doing that, it allows Bucky Irving to seal that. And then he gets a 16-yard gain out of it. Something small, but I really enjoyed it. My only nitpick with it, was like a legitimately dominant, like one of the best run blockers on tape of all the draft prospects at wide receiver. But he almost looks a bit passive from the few games I've watched him as a blocker, which is really surprising. Like, he had that real tenacity. He's kind of catching here. Everything else is right. It allows him to seal this off. I want to see a bit more mean from him as a blocker. I'm just not seeing enough of that yet. That'll come with time, I'm sure, but it was something I wanted to point out. Because it was a bit surprising with how effective he was as a blocker in the run game at Ohio State. So time will tell, but it's still a nice block. Helped spring Bucky Irving here. It's a nice play. And, another key point you're taught as a receiver, sometimes you just got to know when to let go. The second this happens, do not hold on. Do not draw that holding penalty. Another thing that can be super beneficial for a wide receiver is knowing when to sit in those soft spots in zone. And this is a good example by that. So we've got Egbuka at the top of the screen right here. And you'll notice as he releases, the corner is not following him. And what he needs to recognize as he's making this turn is, where is everyone's eyes? As he passes this guy, his eyes are here. The corner's not following. His eyes are here. We've got eyes here. We've got eyes here. None of this technique screams man either, right? Like, these guys aren't chasing other receivers. So that is Egbuka's key, to sit right there and find that soft spot. And, as these delayed releases are happening, our zones are reacting down here. Because Egbuka's pushing this to depth, the safety's thinking, hey, maybe crossers are coming because he was going this way. Maybe another crosser's coming here. I need to get depth and then break down on one of those routes. All of that is to just find that soft spot and sit in it and then, get what you can. My only nitpick was maybe Egbuka's a little late on it because, if you're reading zone here, if you watch our Torrey Horton video, this was a good example of when to sit is as soon as you're past this linebacker, you start sitting. But I think if he sits too early, the safety might break down on it faster. Instead, because he's pushing it like a crosser at first, you watch the safety react to it. The safety back here. Because he's pushing this with such urgency at first, it causes him to bail. And then by the time he turns back, Egbuka sat. And, that's one of those, again, nuances I'm not sure of on the outside looking in, what the receivers taught when going against zone. Maybe they want that delayed release to wait on that safety to gain depth. There's a billion other things. Again, we just don't know from the outside. I'm never going to pretend like I know to the audience. I just don't think that's genuine or fair. But I do appreciate that he is finding that soft spot in the zone regardless. This is a big play here. We've got 3rd and long near the red area. We really need to convert this, and Egbuka is going to be lined up here in the slot. Not a lot to this, but it's just the mentality of what he has after the catch because it's a really quick hitch, right, against a soft zone. Is what I like here. As soon as he catches the ball, again, it's 3rd down. He knows this is like a 5-yard hitch, right? I still need those four yards to get as soon as I catch the ball. So what's he do? He just turns straight up field, gets what he can. And why am I showing this? If you watched football on week 3 on Sunday, there was a play in the Eagles-Rams game where Devontae Smith had a first down on a hitch or a curl, but then tried to dance around and going backwards and ended up losing yards, and it was 3rd or 4th down instead. These are things that we don't want as receivers. We don't want dancing around, and you see it way too often where it really hurts a guy with the ball in his hands, that it just really screws him over. It prevents the first down. It really stalls the offense. This is just a great heads-up play by Egbuka, knowing that it's 3rd down and that I'm not to the sticks, and I just need to do whatever it takes to get to the sticks. Small play, but a winning play. A nitpick here on Egbuka, who is in the slot. You'll see this here. It's pretty straightforward. I like the release here. He's setting up outside. He's getting into his break. He's breaking inside. Can't be dropping that, man. I think this is his 2nd drop of the season, if I remember correctly. For his target share, that's 2 drops is way too high on however many targets he has. I'm not too worried about it. It wasn't an issue in college. He has reliable hands, but, again, love the release. He really sets up, gets that. If you watch, he gets this corner's hips to turn the wrong way to allow him to break inside. So he does a good job of that. Let's see right here. Look where his feet are staggered. It's a great release. He gets that inside leverage. You just got to finish that play. Don't be body catching it. Trying to catch it against your pads. Your pads are uneven. Things bounce in weird directions. Just, haul that in. He'll figure this out, but it was just something I was a little frustrated with. Man, you made that one-handed snag. We'll talk about some other impressive catches he made in this game. Just surprising on a pretty simple, open play that he dropped that one. This is a nice off-script play from Egbuka, heads-up play. So we've got him coming across the formation right here. He's just going to be running a crosser. But it's when he notices that Baker starts scrambling. He also gets a little lucky here. He does get these 2 DBs tripped up. But that's not what we're talking about here. As soon as he notices Baker scrambling, he is turning and his eyes are upfield looking for work. Love to see that stuff. We absolutely need to see that stuff. And then he finds a guy and lowers his shoulder into him and helps create a seal. Now, is the technique great? No. But is the attitude exactly what I want on a scramble for my quarterback? Absolutely. And he does have enough of a block to spring Baker. If we can hold that outside block a bit longer, this could be a touchdown. But the effort's there. Absolutely love that. And he does get lucky here. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But he does trip up 2 defenders just by running his route, which makes this an even more open. This is a 33-yard scramble from Baker. Huge play for the Buccaneers and what ended up being way too close of a game that they ended up pulling out in the final drive. Final drive of the game for the Buccaneers featured a couple of nice plays from Egbuka. One counted, one did not. We'll get into the one that did not count to end the show. But this one is pretty exciting. We've got Egbuka here at the top of the screen. He's just running full speed. It's not the route, it's this. High pointing that ball at full sprint. We talked about the body catch on that inside release. That was just an unfortunate drop, but this is tougher than you'd think. A lot of people want to slow down to high point of football. To be able to do this from that angle at full speed is awfully impressive. That's a hell of a snag from Egbuka and a huge explosive play for the Buccaneers offense at a time where clearly they really needed it on this game-winning drive. That's just a nice snag on the run, high point that football. It's a great placement by Baker. It's a real fun play all around. Egbuka's not, he's got real speed, but, this isn't a play he wins with speed. It's just being able to snag that football in the air in stride. The body control from Egbuka is outrageous on this one. If you watch the game, they did not review this, even though it was within 2 minutes, but the body control and concentration on this to, not catch this initially, re-catch it, get your feet in bounds. The replay showed this was a catch. Todd Bowles even called a timeout because replay assist was not reviewing the play, hoping it would give them more time to look at it. And they still didn't look at it. They called this an incomplete pass. The concentration to, again, it hits off your hands, but to re-snag that in toe tap on the sideline, this should be a catch. It's just, even if it wasn't, I wanted to highlight it because the body control and concentration here, pretty dang special. I can not tell you how many times I've seen just, how hard it is on that second attempt to catch that ball, especially when you're getting pushed out of bounds. Everything about this is impressive, even if it wasn't ruled a completion. Baker was furious in the post-game presser that they did not review this. He firmly believed it was a catch, and honestly, so do I. Hell of a play. Had to mention it, even if it was ruled an incomplete pass, because again, I don't know many guys that can double catch this while being thrown to the sideline. Impressive stuff from Egbuka. He is the Rookie of the Year favorite for a reason. I think it's only going to keep getting better if he is the primary target, depending on how long Mike Evans is out. At the time of recording this, we have no idea if he's going to miss any time, but given a hamstring injury, I would assume there's going to be some time missed by Evans. So I love Egbuka. Let me know what you think in the comments. I can't believe Ohio State just keeps doing this, and they're going to have another one in Carnell Tate this year. They're going to have another one next year in Jeremiah Smith. That program just keeps producing them thanks to Brian Hartline and Ryan Day. Just what an absolute sensational job they do getting these guys pro ready at the college level. If you made it this far, again, consider becoming a member. I'll have additional bonus plays on Egbuka the day after this recording, so that will be Tuesday. It will be coming out. But until then, we'll be back Wednesday. I think we're going to talk about Justin Herbert, a guy that I've really believed in and still been a bit disappointed. I think there's some gray area to talk about when we're talking about Justin Herbert discourse. That gray area is getting awfully small with the way he's playing right now. So I really want to dive into the film of Herbert, and then we'll probably find a college prospect to talk about on Friday. But until then, thank you so much for watching today's episode. We'll be back on Wednesday. Thank you for watching Best Available.